wonderful to be gathered in spirit with our extended community during this time of year that is glorious even as we live in uncertainty. This morning, I want to thank those who created the service: Holly Ulbrich, Cecil Huey, Jenny Loy, Susan Clay, Corey Dodgens, and of course, Petra Bear, who once again worked her magic. Please take the time to look at our weekly connection to find links to our social time, which begins at 11:30 this morning, Sunday morning. You may gather with others on Tuesday Tea Time with Terry at 5 p.m. on, you guessed it, Tuesday. Then our excitement for the week is on Thursday at 6 p.m. when we play bingo together with visits from baby possums. So all of those links are in the weekly connection. Also in this past Thursday's weekly connection, you'll find ways that you can get involved in the cleanup and repair in Seneca. Please check in with your phone leader, a board member, or me if you have any needs that we might be able to help you with during this time when we're all in seclusion. Next week, we're fortunate to have Mr. Tim Burns from Montreal, Canada. He's president of his UU congregation there. He'll offer our sermon on engineering spirituality, finding strength in flexibility. And it's going to be wonderful to have Tim back with us at UUFC. We deeply appreciate your generous support of our fellowship as we continue to support our staff and continue to give to the causes and commitments that are important to us. As we enter into a spirit of worship, let us take a few moments to leave behind the worries and stresses that engage our minds so that we can really be present here in this moment together. Let us take a few slow, deep breaths, perhaps with our eyes closed, feeling beneath us the chair or the floor we're sitting on. It connects us to our life and to this earth reality. We breathe in the breath of life and breathe out breath that sustains our sisters of the plant world on Mother Earth. Breathe in and out. Our opening words today are in honor of Earth Day, and they come from the preface of Braiding Sweetgrass, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teachings of Plants by Robin Wall Kimmerer, who is a professor of plant ecology, botanist, author, and enrolled member of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. And please excuse my mispronunciation of 2 or 3 words. She wrote, "Hold out your hands and let me lay upon them a sheaf of freshly picked sweetgrass, loose and flowing, like newly washed hair, golden green and glossy above. The stems are branded with purple and white where they meet the ground. Hold the bundle up to your nose. Find the fragrance of honeyed vanilla over the scent of river water and black earth. You understand its scientific name, Heraclea odorata, meaning the fragrant holy grass. In our language, it is called Weingashkit, the sweet-smelling hair of Mother Earth. Breathe it in, and you start to remember things you didn't know you had forgotten. As I light the chalice of our faith, let us share our affirmation. We gather together in a spirit of love with justice as our guide. This is our chosen covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth with freedom, and to care for one another.
For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the wonder of each hour, of the day and of the night, hill and vale and tree and flower, sun and moon and stars of light, source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of human care, sister, brother, parent, child, for the kinship we all share, for all gentle thoughts and mild, source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise.
Today, we share our celebrations and concerns. We weave in the people and issues that lay on our hearts and minds. Of course, we continue to be concerned for those who are ill, the helpers of so many kinds who put their lives at risk every day. For small business owners who don't see a successful end to this crisis. For the hungry and homeless, those who are victimized, the migrants, and those who are imprisoned. The victims of tornadoes and other natural disasters. We hold them in our hearts, next to our gratitude for all that we have received. We give thanks for the generous help of volunteers from all over the country and from our fellowship who have been helping the victims of Seneca's tornado. We are in awe of the many ways that people are reaching out both here and around the world to work together for the common good of the human family. I want to express my personal gratitude for all the members and friends of UUFC, people of goodwill, commitment, and hope who have journeyed beside me these 8 years. As many of you know, beginning August 1st, I will serve as the 3/4-time contract minister for the Lynchburg, Virginia congregation. Today, my heart is filled with gratitude. And so it is in a spirit of humility that we hold these joys and concerns, those spoken and those held close. We hold them in our hearts in a time of silent prayer and meditation. Spirit of life, we are so grateful that we can gather in spirit, humbled by the lives that we have been given, lives that even though they are uncertain right now, are filled with wonder and mystery and hope and love and joy. Life is full of ups and downs, of fears and sorrows, and yet it is such a blessing. We hold up to today those who are suffering in mind, body, and spirit. We know that there are many we will lose during this COVID-19 crisis. Hopefully, while that virus is close to so many families, that we might find protection through caring for ourselves in the ways that we know will protect us. We are humbled by the generosity of spirit and of life that so many people are offering to those who are suffering during this time. And so we are even more grateful this day and every day for our beloved family members, our beloved friends, our beloved community. May we remember each day that we are not alone, but supported in spirit and in truth by our community and all those who care about us. This we ask in the name of all that is sacred. Amen.
On Wednesday, April 22nd, the world marked Earth Day, the 50th celebration. But the indigenous people of North America have celebrated Earth Day every day since they came to Turtle Island. Today, we celebrate Earth Day with stories. Cecil Huey will tell us the story of how to plant the Three Sisters in order to have a bountiful harvest. Holly Ulbrich will bless your seeds, and finally we will end with the Thanksgiving address from the Onondaga Nation. All of these readings are from Braiding Sweetgrass, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teachings of Plants by Robin Wall Kimmerer. The Three Sisters, which you will plant in your garden, is believed by the people of the Great Lakes to be a part of the original instructions given by the Great Spirit to sustain life. The story goes that when Sky Woman fell to the earth on Turtle Island, she brought with her the Three Sisters, corn, squash, and beans, to create a beautiful garden. When Sky Woman fell to the earth it was new. And now, thousands of years later, the earth is old and tired, and we humans may have long worn out our welcome. Kemmerer says, it's time for all of us, indigenous peoples and naturalized peoples, to tell the sacred stories of Sky Woman again, so we may find our way. We are immigrants on this planet, just as Sky Woman was when she fell to Turtle Island and made this earth her home. She came with a handful of seeds and instructions to use your gifts and dreams for good. If we listen, the plants will tell her story.
I'm here with my friend Cecil Huey because today we're honoring the indigenous people of Turtle Island. And Cecil's here to talk to you about the package that you got in the mail if you're an RE family, and about how the Native Americans lived in harmony with the earth in the way they planted. So Cecil, it's all yours.
Hello everybody. Wanted to talk a little bit about some of the agricultural or gardening practices of Native Americans. The packet of seeds that Holly referred to includes corn, beans, and squash. And those are things that the Native Americans referred to as the three sisters, because they usually grew them all together, and the three plants complemented one another in an interesting way. The corn grew tall and provided support for the beans. The beans added nitrogen to the soil, and the squash leaves are kind of large, and they shaded the roots around the squash and the beans and helped conserve water. You should have, in your packet, you'll have seeds for corn. There's a label in there that looks a copy of this, and the variety of corn that's included is an interesting thing. Almost all of the corn that the Native Americans grew was popcorn. Although they didn't pop it all, but this will pop. So rather than grind it into flour or meal, you'll probably enjoy popping it. It's also very beautiful, and it makes nice autumn table decorations after Thanksgiving. The beans are Trail of Tears beans, or Cherokee Trail of Tears beans, named for the Trail of Tears, which was a route that the Cherokees had to follow as they were removed to Oklahoma in the 19th century from their homelands in this area. And the squash seeds are for a winter squash that's sort of a rambler. It'll take up a lot of room, so you might not want to plant but a couple of those. Now, the Native Americans cultivated these crops for centuries before the Europeans arrived, and the Native Americans didn't have horses or cows or oxen or anything to help with plowing or harvesting or in any other way. And so they had to provide all the labor themselves. And so their gardening practices were to plant small plots, little hills, and rather than in long straight rows like the Europeans were doing. Now, in the packet, you should have received some instructions. Probably can't see that too well here, but there's a little bit more detail, but I'll describe what you want to do if you want to plant these three sisters. First, you need to prepare a little plot of soil about 4 feet in diameter, dig it up well and get all the weeds and grass out, and kind of rake the soil up so that it's a little higher in the middle than it is around the edges. And then you first plant the corn in a circle about 2 feet in diameter. Now you can plant all the seeds that you have in your packet, and you'll wind up with more plants than you need, and so you can thin them out so that you have the most robust looking ones after they've emerged. And you need a total of 5 or 6 plants. And after the corn has reached about 8 to 10 inches in height, plant the beans around the corn, around the corn stalks and in between, and 4 or 5 bean seeds per corn plant. But if you plant the beans too early, the vines will overwhelm the young corn stalks, so you need to make sure that the corn is up and about 8 or 10 inches tall. Then a week or so after planting the beans, plant the squash around the edge of your plot. And you want to have just 2 or 3 squash plants in the end. You can plant all the seeds and then thin out the ones that are less robust looking than the others. Now, it's interesting, an interesting detail about corn is that it requires human intervention to grow from year to year. And the Native Americans worked all that out over centuries. Now, corn is wind pollinated, and if you have just a few stalks of corn, like you'll have in your garden, you probably need to intervene a little bit, take some steps to help the pollination process, and that's perfectly okay because the Native Americans would have done that as well. Once the corn tassels appear, and that's the blossom, you can shake the corn stalk in the mornings, 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning, and the pollen will sift out and land on the silk of the ears of corn. And if you might, it's okay to break off a section of one of the corn tassels and use it sort of like a feather duster and dust those corn, the silk at the end of the ears of corn to ensure that the pollination occurs. Then I meant to mention initially, but I need to catch back up here, that you're probably aware that the Native Americans often used fish or wood ashes or something else to enrich the soil. And so you can do that yourself if you want to use something like fish. But also just some ordinary garden fertilizer will be fine too. Now these squash that I mentioned as being kind of rambling plants do take up a lot of space. So you might be better off if you have just a little bit of room to go to a garden center and get some more common crookneck summer squash that will serve the same purpose of shading the roots and all, but not take up nearly as much space. So I hope you'll give this a try. I hope you'll have good success and have a bountiful harvest, and enjoy the popcorn, enjoy the beans, enjoy the squash.
Thank you, Cecil. And since in summer we usually have a blessing of first harvest, I thought this time we would bless the other end of the process and bless the seeds. So you've got seeds, I've got seeds. These are some seeds that I've planted. And so let's ask a blessing on the seeds. May the seeds that we plant rejoice in the rich soil they are put in and be nourished by it. May they have enough rain or watering to grow healthy and enough sun to rise up to the sky and provide a bountiful harvest. And may we, who also grow from eggs and seeds, be nourished and supported in our environment and grow to bless the world. Amen.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue bird home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home.
In the Onondaga Nation, the school week begins and ends not with a Pledge of Allegiance, but with a Thanksgiving address, a river of words as old as the people themselves, known more accurately in the Onondaga culture and language as the words that come before all else. This ancient order of protocol sets gratitude as the highest priority. The gratitude is directed straight at the ones who share their gifts with the world. And so we begin. Today, we have gathered, and when we look upon the faces of us, we see that the cycles of life continue. We have been given the duty to live in balance and harmony with each other and with all living things. So now let us bring our minds together as one as we give greetings and thanks to each other as people. Now our minds are one.
We are thankful to our Mother, the Earth, for she gives us everything that we need for life. She supports our feet as we walk upon her. It gives us joy that she still continues to care for us, just as she has from the beginning of time. To our Mother, we send thanksgiving, love, and respect. Now our minds are one.
We give thanks to all of the waters of the world for quenching our thirst, for providing strength, nurturing life for all beings. We know its power in many forms: waterfalls and rain, mists and streams, rivers and oceans, snow and ice. We are grateful that the waters are still here and meeting their responsibility to the rest of creation. Can we agree that water is important in our lives and bring our minds together as one to send greetings and thanks to the water? Now our minds are one.
We turn our thoughts to all of the fish life in the water. They were instructed to cleanse and purify the water. They also give themselves to us as food. We are grateful that they continue to do their duties, and we send to the fish our greetings and our thanks. Now our minds are one. Now we turn toward the vast fields of plant life. As far as the eye can see, the plants grow, working many wonders. They sustain many life forms. With our minds gathered together, we give thanks and look forward to seeing plant life for many generations to come. Now our minds are one. When we look about us, we see that berries are still here, providing us delicious foods. The leader of the berries is the strawberry, the first to ripen in the spring. Can we agree that we are grateful that the berries are with us in the world and send our thanksgiving, love, and respect to the berries? Now our minds are one.
With one mind, we honor and thank all the food plants we harvest from the garden, especially the three sisters who feed the people with such abundance. Since the beginning of time, the grains, vegetables, beans, and fruit have helped the people survive. Many other living things draw strength from them as well. We gather together in our minds all the plant foods and send them a greeting and thanks. Now our minds are one.
Now we turn to the medicine herbs of the world. From the beginning, they were instructed to take away sickness. They are always waiting and ready to heal us. We are so happy that they are still among us, those special few who remember how to use the plants for healing. With one mind, we send thanksgiving, love, and respect to the medicines and the keepers of the medicines. Now our minds are one. Standing around us, we see all the trees. The earth has many families of trees who each have their own instructions and uses. Some provide shelter and shade, others fruits and beauty and many useful gifts. The maple is the leader of the trees, to recognize its gift of sugar when the people need it most. Many people of the world recognize a tree as a symbol of peace and strength. With one mind, we greet and thank the tree life. Now our minds are one.
We gather our minds together to send our greetings and thanks to all the beautiful animal life in the world who walk about with us. They have many things to teach us as people. We're grateful that they continue to share their lives with us and hope that it will always be so. Let us put our minds together as one and send our thanks to the animals. Now our minds are one.
We put our minds together as one and thank all the birds who move and fly over our heads. The Creator gave them the gift of beautiful songs. Each morning they greet the day, and with their songs remind us to enjoy and appreciate life. The eagle was chosen to be their leader and to watch over the world. To all the birds, from the smallest to the largest, we send our joyful greetings and thanks. Now our minds are one.
We all are thankful for the powers we know is the four winds. We hear their voices in the morning as they refresh us in the air we breathe. They help us bring the change of seasons. From the four directions they come, bringing us messages and giving us strength. With one mind, we send our greetings and thanks to the four winds. Now our minds are one.
Now we turn to the west, where our grandfathers, the thunder beings, live. With lightning and thunder voices, they bring with them the water that renews life. We bring our minds together as one to send greetings and thanks to our grandfathers, the thunderers. Now we send greetings and thanks to our eldest brother, the sun. Each day, without fail, he travels the sky from east to west, bringing the light of a new day. He is the source of all the fires of life. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our brother, the sun. Now our minds are one.
We put our minds together and give thanks to our oldest grandmother, the moon, who lights the nighttime sky. She is the leader of women all over the world, and she governs the movement of the ocean tides. By her changing face, we measure time, and it is the moon who watches over the arrival of children on earth. Let us gather our thanks for Grandmother Moon together in a pile, layer upon layer of gratitude, and then joyfully fling that pile of thanks high into the night sky, that she will know. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our grandmother, the moon. We give thanks to the stars who are spread across the sky like jewelry. We see them at night, helping the moon to light the darkness and bring to the gardens and growing things. When we travel at night, they guide us home. With our minds gathered as one, we send greetings and thanks to all the stars. Now our minds are one.
We gather our minds to greet and thank the enlightened teachers who have come to help throughout the ages. When we forget how to live in harmony, they remind us of the way we were instructed to live as people. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to the caring teachers. Now our minds are one.
We now turn our thoughts to the Creator or Great Spirit and send greetings and thanks for all the gifts of creation. Everything we need for a good life is here on Mother Earth. For all the love that is still around us, we gather our minds together as one and send our choicest words and greetings of thanks to the Creator. Now our minds are one.
We now have arrived at the place where we end our words. Of all the things we have named, it is not our intention to leave anything out. If something was forgotten, we leave it to each individual to send such greetings and thanks in their own way. And now our minds are one.
As we go forth from this sacred space, may we celebrate Earth and our shared lives. May we recognize our connection to all that is in and on Earth. May we commit ourselves in a new way, and may we hold our commitments and each other gently, yet firmly. Take the light with you, carry the light, share the light, be the light. Blessed be, and amen.